So let's talk about energy loops today. So these are energy loops that play out in your mind. And now if you feel like these loops, so this is repetitive thought patterns, if you feel physically drained or uncomfortable when these thoughts come up, be cautious. And if you feel energized and happy, then move towards them. So, what repetitive thought loops do you have? What subject are they? And how do they make you feel? Okay, so I'm going to give you an example here. Let's say that this was about a relationship, although this could apply to anything, so you could use it for your career as well, of course, anything. So let's say that you have a repetitive thought loop and you have been obsessed with somebody for a long period of time. By this, I mean that you think about them all the time. They pop into your head all the time. You cannot help it. So you feel. Maybe this has been going on for 20 plus years. Maybe this has been going on for 3 months. It really doesn't matter. What does that thought loop make you feel? Now I'm going to give you a couple examples here. So let's say that you haven't been able to get somebody out of your head and it's been 20 years and you keep thinking about this person. This person comes up into your head. They, at least at some point in every single day, pop into your mind. Now, there could be several reasons for this. I'm going to assume that there was something that was unresolved, that there were words that were unspoken, there was emotions or feelings that were unexplored or undivulged, and this is why there is still an obsession there after how long it's, words unspoken can cause all kinds of problems. Why? Because then you will go into a fantasy world of illusions about this person. Now, is that fantasy world true? Absolutely not. Have you seen them in 20 years? Maybe you haven't. But this fantasy world, to some people, is safer and more realistic because of the beliefs that you hold than having the real thing. So you might, let me give you an example. Let's say you've been obsessed with this guy for the last 20 years. You think about him all the time. It pops in your head. You're like, oh, that would be so wonderful. And in your wildest fantasies, it's the two of you together, walking down a beach somewhere. But this has been going on for 20 years. They don't contact you, and if they do, you don't express any interest. You act as if everything's nothing, because in your mind, you have fear that if something did potentially, if this could possibly come together in some way, then more than likely it would end in failure. And then what would you think about all day long, right? So you spent the last 20 years obsessing about somebody. Finally, you decide, okay, let's get together here. Let's make something happen. And then it fails. Then what are you faced with? The reality that this was not meant to be. Whereas you could go on, if you don't address it, you could spend the next 50 years doing exactly what you've been doing right now. And it feels safer, doesn't it? Because you're not taking any action. All this whole world is being lived inside of your mind. Now, when does this become a problem? It becomes a problem when that energy is being expended and wasted, and you are now living in a false reality in your mind, and you're probably very distracted. It's probably very hard to stay focused on things. It's probably very hard to pay attention in conversations because you are spending so much of your time living in a fantasy world, a world of illusions. Why am I talking about this? Why does this matter? Because if this is you, I want you to ask yourself, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? If you were to, first of all, either let this go, which you're probably saying, man, I've been trying for the past 20 years and I can't. If I could do that, I would have done it already. Okay, well then what you have tried is not the solution. And I bet that what you've tried is nothing. So the solution is communication. Now, I'm not saying that you even need to speak to this person in real life, but of course that would be extremely helpful. I would recommend it. But if you're not open to this, all you need to do is get a piece of paper, write down all of it. Write it down. The truth. Right? And so the truth is, let's say that you've been thinking about someone for 20 years. Well, the truth is you are in love with this person. Desperately, deeply in love with this person. This is not going to change. But because you haven't admitted this to yourself and you tell yourself, no, I don't think that's it. I think it's something else. It's not. I'm telling you, you are desperately in love with this person. This is not a bad thing. But because you have not admitted it to yourself yet, and you might even still be fighting with it, even though it's been 20 freaking years, but because you have not admitted this to yourself, it's going to persist, it's going to continue. So for a minute here, I want you to just imagine you get a piece of paper, and then you sit in that, and then you write it out. What is it that you love about this person? Oh, tall, dark, handsome. So kind, so sweet, so smart, so business-oriented. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Write out all the things that you love about this person. Write it out. Then sit there in that appreciation and that love that you have for that person, and truly just love them. Send them love. Think about them in such a loving way, like, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. And keep doing this. Why? Because within 1 minute to 3 minutes of you doing this, you're going to notice that there will be a change, a shift in your energy. Because when we've been denying ourselves for the last 20 years, the truth, when we've been lying to ourselves for such an extended period of time, when we all of a sudden get the relief of the truth, it feels differently. The energy that is attached to it is different. And what's going to happen is it's going to loosen that grip, that obsession that is there. Because the only reason that the obsession is there is because you have not admitted this to yourself, what the truth really is. And so your internal self wants something desperately that your conscious mind is saying, no, it'll end in failure. No, I'm going to get hurt. No, I can't say anything. No. And because you listen to that, the conscious mind, rather than the subconscious mind, which is the boss. It's the big boss. It decides. This is why you've been trying to talk yourself out of this for 20 years and it hasn't happened. Because you can't talk yourself out of feeling a certain way. And why would you want to? You can feel a certain way. You can feel desperately in love with this person. And as soon as you admit that to yourself, that, oh, I just love him, I 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 love him, then it's going to ease off. And it's going to feel like a sigh of relief. Like a sigh of relief. Now let's imagine that this has been a repetitive loop with career, but there's fear that's based around it. So there's something that you've been wanting to do, but you're not even quite sure what it is, but you know what it is that you don't want to be doing. That much you do know. What you don't want. You don't want that job that you've had for the last 5, 7, 8 years. It doesn't bring you satisfaction and happiness. It brings you money, and you wanted some money. And now even that, because the passion that you have behind it is not present, it makes it difficult when this current job that you have isn't bringing you all the satisfaction that you thought the money would bring you, because maybe the money's not even what you thought it would be. And so every time that you think about it, what is the emotion that is attached to it? What happens to your vibration when you think about this work? What does it do to you? Does it lower your vibration, or does it raise it up, or does it keep it the same? And if it keeps it the same, what vibe are you consistently at? Because if you are consistently committing to your work day after day after day after day, right? You're giving it your time. You are giving to it your energy. Your time and your energy is your life. That's all you got, time and energy. And so when you are giving your time and your energy to this job or this career, and you're focusing all your time and your energy on that, you are really giving your life to this job and this career. And so if it does not fulfill you and bring you joy and happiness, you are giving your life away in exchange for what? Not happiness, not joy, not excitement, not passion. You need to understand that your life is very precious. It is so precious that every single day you exchange your life, your time, your energy for something. I don't know what it is. What are you doing today? That's what you're exchanging your life for, whatever it is that you got on the go today. So be very aware of this, because what you do today matters. You are exchanging a day of your life for it. So if you are exchanging a day of your life for a career or for a job that you cannot stand for 1 minute longer, then you need to change something about it. You need to take a baby step today, take your first action step towards doing something about it. What does that mean for you? I don't know. Maybe it means you need to line something else up. Maybe it means you need to stop spending so much time doing this or start spending more time doing that. I don't know what it is for you. But this life is meant to be joyous. Your life is meant to bring you joy and happiness. Your life is meant to bring you fulfillment and satisfaction. You should feel satisfied and fulfilled with your life. And if you do not, if you don't feel satisfied, if you don't love, passionately love your life, then something's gone wrong. Now, I wasn't going to say it, but if currently right now your life feels like hell, you don't have anyone to blame but yourself, baby. Because you changed something. At some point, you had passion within you. And you're like, oh, I want this, that, you, whatever it was. I want. And then something changed. And there was a fear that came in there, a fear of failure, of, all these things that I want, what if it doesn't want me to? And this fear of failure that crept into your life. Left your head in the clouds, your feet in the sand, and you feeling completely unsatisfied with absolutely every single area of your life. Maybe there's some that bring you fulfillment, but I bet that you've given up on what you were passionate about at some point because you believe in failure more than you believe in yourself. I know I'm right. And because you don't believe in yourself, because you don't believe that you're deserving, smart enough, or worthy of the goodness that this earth and this world has to offer, because you don't believe in it, you're getting what you believe in right now, which is failure, which is feeling unsatisfied with your life. And what's that going to lead you to? Nothing. It's going to lead you to nothing. And then you're going to go to the end of your life and you're going to say, why did I allow this to happen? This wasn't what I was wanting. And then when you're 93 years old and your life is slowed down significantly, and you're looking back on your life, you're going to say, why? Why was I so afraid? Why did I allow fear to rule my life? Why wasn't I prepared and preparing myself constantly, continually for what it is that I want? And you will know when you look back, because you will be able to say, I was afraid. And because you allowed that fear to rule your life, because you put your faith and because you put your belief in that fear more than you put your belief in the divine love, you experienced your belief. And so when you go all the way to the end of your life, and you imagine yourself going forward here in the future, and you see your older self there, what does she or he have to say to you about what it is that you're doing or that you're not doing right now? Close your eyes, unless you're driving. Ask yourself, what does your older self say about what it is that you're doing or not doing right now? Tune in. I'm going to give you a minute here. Close your eyes and ask yourself, what does your older self want to tell you about your life right now? What advice do they have for you? And then whatever it is, listen to it. Act on it. Take immediate action. Because when you go through your life and you end up at the end of your life, what is it that really matters? I'll tell you. Because it's the only thing that matters in this entire universe, and it's love. When I take my clients back, when we do sessions, when we do past life sessions, when we do forward life progression sessions, when we do in-between life sessions, when we do soul healing sessions, whatever it is, I will ask, what is the only thing that matters? And every time, it's these words that are spoken. Say, what's the only thing that matters? Love. That's the answer every single time. You can imagine yourself going to the end of your life. What matters? The people that you loved. Who are the people that are there with you? Who were the people that supported you? When you're going to the end of your life, are you still thinking about the people that did you wrong or that you're angry at? Heck no, I hope not. If not, if that is the case, then you didn't learn while you were here. But that's not the case, because at the end of your life, the only thing that matters is, did I love? And because that truly is the only thing that actually matters, it makes everything else easy. When you look back on your life, if you were to imagine yourself mid-90s looking back on your life and you're giving yourself this advice, you know, what are they going to tell you about your fears and about your failures? Well, they're going to tell you that your failures were not failures. They were lessons learned that pushed you into what it is that you're supposed to be doing. I'll tell you that much. And when you look back on your life, when you take yourself to the end of it and you look back and you see yourself, you know, your 90s, and you're looking back on your life and you think about all those failures that you had, they were not. They were not. They were never failures. They were opportunities for learning and for lessons. That's all that they ever were. That's all that they were at the time. That's all that they are in the future. Yes, they were difficult at the time. Going through bad, perceivably bad things can be very difficult. But they always, always, always lead to goodness, no matter what it is. I could say that my marriage failed, but I would never say that because it didn't. It didn't. I mean, it's over. And I'm thankful for that. Thank goodness for that. But was it a failure? Heck no, it was not. Man, you know how much I learned from that? You know how much of a better person I am because of that? I learned and I only gained. I only gained. And because I'm not under the heavy hand of suppression anymore, I'm not being suppressed. My very nature, my very character is no longer able to be suppressed by anybody. I have to say that the ending of my marriage was, I mean, you couldn't even categorize it under failure because it was not. This is the most beautiful gift that I have been given to date, was the ending of it. Because I didn't realize that I was not supported. I didn't even know it. Didn't even realize, didn't even see it, didn't know it until I left. I mean, I partway knew, but I would say I was 10% aware that yes, me being the spiritual me was not cool by him. But whatever, I was still going to be me and I'm still going to do whatever, but I didn't realize how just being around that energy, that in itself was suppression. Because there's a world of difference when you are around supportive people, supportive energies. It's like you operate as a team rather than competition. And I want people on my team. That's the only thing I want. And if you're not going to be a team player, if you're not going to be a good player on my team, then you're not on my team. Simple as that. But previous to me leaving, I didn't realize that I was even playing a game and that I even had teammates and that they were holding me back. Didn't even know it. One in particular. Didn't even know it. I wasn't aware. But after leaving and becoming aware, well, this changed everything for me. Why did it change everything for me? Because the energy that had been suppressed in me, that was not okay for me to be, that was not okay for me to feel, that was not okay, all of a sudden was okay. And all of a sudden there wasn't anybody telling me what to do about anything. It's like, oh man, this is fabulous. I don't know about you, but I'm a Sagittarius. I don't want anybody telling me what to do ever. Not that I would listen, but being in those unsupportive energies for such a long period of time, 20 years, you don't really realize the extent of what that does. It drains your energy out of you daily. And so then how are you supposed to help and heal people when the energy that you need to help and heal people is drained out of your body? How are you supposed to do that? Well, you can do it. You can still do it. But it's a whole heck of a lot more difficult. It takes a whole heck of a lot more energy. Now it changes things when you recognize that this too was a gift. That those years, 20 plus years, of suppression of my character was a beautiful gift that was given to me. Didn't even know it. Because it truly made me appreciate myself and who I am even more. And I'm like, what? How could? I don't understand, because my spiritual nature to me is my favorite part of myself. It's the part of me that I just love every little tiny bit of it. And so it was very confusing for me to, it's confusion of why someone else, specifically my ex-husband, why he wouldn't see that and appreciate what I would consider to be the best part of me. Now, why really doesn't matter. What I want you to gain from this right now is that if your energy is being siphoned away by another particular energy in your life, maybe it's a parent, maybe it's a sibling, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a lover, maybe it's an ex, I don't know who or what. But if your energy is being siphoned away by someone, I want you to become aware of it right now. How will you know? Because you'll feel drained after interacting with this person. You'll feel confused. You'll feel frustration. You might feel anger. It might bring up feelings of hurt from the past or sadness. And every time that you have this interaction, it resurfaces and it creates a mental loop. And then when you leave, you're in that loop again. And then when they leave, you're in that loop again. Then when you think about them throughout the day and what they've done, suppressed, drained away your energy, you're in that loop again. And when we're in these repetitive loops, if it's a positive thing, if it leaves you feeling better, then keep it up. Keep it up. And if it's a negative thing, if it leaves you feeling like you're losing, like you're draining all your energy away, then it needs to be stopped and reprogrammed. Because there's something surrounding it that needs healing. And what that thing is a belief. So you are holding within you some type of belief that is detrimental to your success. And because you believe in that belief, you hold it next to your heart, you hold it true through your belief of it, and you believe in it rather than the goodness, you will experience that repetitive thought loop again and again and again. Whereas you could believe and put your faith in the goodness rather than that repetitive loop, and then you would experience the goodness rather than that repetitive loop. Your failures are not failures. They can lead to your greatest successes, but only when you recognize them as such. That this was for learning, this was to make me be a better person, this was to help me to stop doing this thing, this was to help me to start doing this thing, this was to help me to change and transform something deep within myself. This is why this happened. I needed it, it was necessary, it was for me to heal the hurt, and to create deep healing within myself, and to transform and change myself at a deep soul level. It was needed, it was necessary. There are no failures. There is only learning opportunities. And when you view it as such, it changes things for you. You know, personally, I've gone through so many things in my life. But, you know, people could, they could project their stuff onto me and say perhaps something that I have done is a failure. But I don't consider anything that I have done as a failure. None of it. Why? Because I learned from it every single time. And it was the most difficult, hardest, biggest, most destructive things that I went through in my life that led to the greatest change and led to the most wonderful opportunities that are now presenting themselves to me regularly. I love you all. You know, and if you have some type of obsession, some type of obsessive thought about something, start working through it. There is words that need to be spoken. There is communication that needs to happen. And just look at your older self. What advice would they give to you about your life right now? They would tell you to start taking some action steps. But until you know what it is that you want, it's pretty hard to take action. But the easiest thing to know what it is that you don't want, know what it is that you don't want. You know what it is that you don't want. So let that go now. Let it go. Let it go. You got to let it go. Let it go. Do you want me to say it to you 20 times? It's time to let it go now. Let it go today. Let it go. Is it someone? Is it something? Let them go now. Someone needs to hear this. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I know it's easier said than done. But whatever this obsession is, whatever it is, whenever that obsession pops into your head, just thank it for being there. Thank it. Love it. Because currently you're not thanking it and you're not loving it. And so it keeps popping up. So thank it for being there. It's trying to teach you something. I want you to get the message. I want you to get the message. The message is always love. We have a choice. We have fear. We have love. And that's the only choice you have. Choose. Pick one. Decide. Do you want love or do you want fear? Because whatever it is that you choose, you're feeding that, and that's what you'll experience. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in today. Thank you for being here. Hope this message made sense to you. And if not, well, hopefully tomorrow's message makes sense to you, and I will see you there. Take care. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. See you tomorrow.